Hello, my name is Nicolaas and today I would like to show you how to set up and play Pick a Pen Gardens. Pick a Pen Gardens is published by 999 Games and is designed by Reiner Knizia. It's a game for 2 to 4 players and it plays in about 30 minutes. What's special about this game is that it's a roll and write, but we will not be rolling dice, but we will be rolling something else. So let's go to the table and I can explain to you how to set up and play this game. In Pick a Pen Gardens, all players try to create the most colorful garden, while keeping an eye on the specific scoring conditions for that garden. Pick a Pen Gardens is a roll and write game, but instead of rolling dice, we will be rolling pens, and instead of writing, we will be coloring. In the game box, you will find 5 pencils, a block of garden sheets, and the game rules. First, each player takes a garden sheet. If you take a closer look at the garden sheets, you will notice that some have a different number in the upper left corner. This is the difficulty level for that garden. There are 3 difficulty levels. Each level adds more scoring options, and we will take a look at sheet 2 and 3 at the end of this video. But for our first game, we will use the level 1 sheets. So each player now places a level 1 sheet in front of him. We then place all 5 pencils in the middle of the table and we decide who will be the starting player. Before we start picking pens, this might be a good time to take a closer look at our garden. In the middle of our sheet, you have the play area. The play area is made up of gardens. These gardens are separated by borders, and each garden has a different number of spaces. You have these larger gardens that have 6 spaces, and the smallest one has 2 spaces. In the lower left corner, you can find the scoring options for that garden, and to the right you will see the competitions. But more on those when we start coloring. Now the start player rolls all 5 pencils. If any pencils would land on top of another one, you would now re-roll that pencil. When it's your turn, you always have to choose one pencil. When you pick a pencil, you let the other players know which color and number the pencil has. For example, if I would pick this one, I would say red 4. Let's see what I can color with my chosen pencil. You must color the exact number of spaces following these rules. Each space can only be colored once. All spaces you color during your turn must be connected to each other and you are allowed to cross the borders of a garden. So with my red 4, I would be allowed to color in these 2 spaces, and then the 2 that I have left I could place here. This is called a group. So the first group you could place wherever you want, but now each next group must be adjacent to at least one of the previously colored spaces. So if during my next turn I would maybe pick this purple 4, I have to make sure that at least one of the spaces that I color is adjacent to my previously colored spaces. If you cannot or don't want to color the exact number of spaces, you must use the pencil to color in the first available pencil symbol. And you would start from the left and continue to the right. These will be negative points at the end of the game, and they are also an end game trigger. Now, how to score points at the end of the game? Whenever you color in all the spaces of a garden with the same color, you color the number 2 score box of that color. And it doesn't matter how many spaces that garden contains. So perhaps I have this green pencil and I have a 3, so I'm allowed to color in 3 spaces. I now have completed this green garden, so now I will color in the first score box for green. So now I will color this green too. And if during another turn, perhaps I have finished another green garden with these 2 green spaces, I would now color in the next score box. So this would give me 3 points at the end of the game. So remember that each time when you finish a garden, you will color the next score box of that color. And you can do this up to 3 times. Each time scoring you the amount of points that you can see in the score box. This star symbol means that you can score bonus points. If you have colored all the first boxes for all 5 colors, you will receive 10 bonus points at the end of the game. The same goes for all other levels. So each time you have a full row of colored spaces, you would gain those bonus points. Whenever you complete a garden using all 5 colors, you have created a colorful garden. You can now color in a score box with 6 points. You start from the left to the right, and if you ever have 5 colorful gardens, this would give you 30 bonus points at the end of the game. And remember that whenever you don't want to use a pencil, you will color in this first pencil box, and these will be negative points at the end of the game. Now let's take a look at these competition bonuses. Here you can see the number 1. This means these bonuses are only for the first player to achieve them. The first player to color all the spaces at the edge of the playing area would receive 6 bonus points. The first player who colors in all the spaces of his play area also gets 6 points. And remember that this is also one of the endgame triggers. And then this last one means that at the end of the game, each player checks the largest area of connected spaces of one color that they have, and the player who has the largest area also receives 6 points. So these first 2 are for whoever completes them the first during the game. This last bonus will be checked at the end of the game. So this is what I can do when I pick a pen on my turn and I color my garden. If I have finished my turn, I keep the pencil to the side, and the other players would now pick a pencil. Whenever there are no more pencils in the middle of the table, the next player would now roll the 5 pencils again, and you would start a new round. The game end is triggered by one of these 2 visual markers. The game ends immediately when a player has colored the last space of his play area, or whenever a player has colored the last pencil symbol on his play sheet. We would now count up all our scores. To show you how you would add up your score, I will be using a sheet from a previous game. The first thing you do is that you sum up all these points that you have for fully colored gardens. You do this row by row, and remember that if you have completely filled a row, you will also gain these bonus points. So for this row, I would get 10 and 10 bonus points, so this would be 20 points. The other rows give me 12, and I have one colored score box here. This is 4 points. I have created 2 colorful gardens, that would be 12 points, but I also have colored one of these pencil symbols, so this will be -1. I was the first player during the game to color all spaces around the edge of the play area, so this will give me 6 points. I also was the first player to color in all spaces on my game sheet, another 6 points. And I also have the largest area of spaces with one color. So at the end of the game, this would give me 65 points. Of course, the player at the end of the game with the highest score is the winner of the game. And in case of a tie, the players share the victory. Now, before I let you roll those pencils, I would first like to take a quick look at the difference between the level 1, 2 and 3 gardens. This is the flower garden. The difference with the level 1 is that you will see these flower spaces that already have a color. And next to the usual score options from level 1, there's also a new scoring option and there's also a new bonus. This means that each time when you color a space with the same color as the flower, so here I colored this green space with a green flower, I am now allowed to color this score box. This would be 2 points at the end of the game. Again, like in level 1, whenever I have completed this row, this would give me 10 extra bonus points. There's also a new competition and it has the number 1. So this means that the first player who achieves it will gain the 10 bonus points. The first player to color in all 5 spaces containing a flower receives the corresponding bonus points, even with non-matching colors. This level 3 sheet is called the Tree Gardens. Again, we see some of the scoring options that we remember from the other sheets, but there are also some changes. You see these bonuses, again they show the number 1, so it means that the first player to achieve them gains those points. These mean that the first player to complete this column would gain 5 points. And then below it we see another new scoring option. Here you can find the tree symbols that you can also see on your playing area. Each time that you have colored one of the trees in a certain color, maybe I colored this one blue, I'm now allowed to color in this blue score box. For only doing this I would not score any bonus points, but if you have ever colored all 5 trees in one of each of the game's colors, this would give you 10 bonus points. The competition goals are the same as for the level 1 sheet. To help people that have a problem discerning colors, you can use the back of the rule sheet. Each time that you have rolled the pencils, one person that doesn't have any problem discerning colors would place them on the right spot, matching that color. Before the game has started, you can place a letter for that color on the spot, on the pencil, and on any scoring abilities that match that color. So if I would pick this purple one, I could now mark the letter P in one of the spaces, and this completes this garden for me, so I now know that I can color the first box of this color. This is all you need to know to set up and play Pick-a-Pen Gardens. If you like this video, you can hit the like and subscribe button, and you can always follow Meeplecare on Facebook, Instagram and YouTube. This was Meeplecare, taking care of your meeple needs.